Here we go.
You're listening to the Morning Bull with Bonley Johnson, Bonzobitburg, and Lee, right here on WBAM Radio. Rock on.
Good morning, WBAM Radio. Good morning, Bonzo.
Good morning.
Good morning, Puddin'.
Good morning.
Did you guys have a good weekend?
Yep.
Anything fun?
Nope.
Well, then how the hell did you have a good weekend if you didn't do anything fun?
Didn't have to work.
Oh.
Well, I worked, but not work.
Did you get the holes cut in your ceiling?
Yep.
All the electric ran?
It's not, the bathroom's not wired, but everything else is ran.
So you ready to put the insulation in now?
I gotta wait till he wires the bathroom up top, but pretty much.
What about you, Puddin'? What'd you do?
What did I do? Well, I had my show on Friday.
Okay, who did you do? Is that a better question?
Obviously, that would be my husband, Patrick. Had my show on Friday. Saturday, we went to a surprise 60th birthday party. Sunday, we just chilled, put up the Christmas tree,
That's something.
and watched Elf last night.
Alf?
Elf.
Elf.
E-L-F.
Oh,
Elf.
I can't stand that movie. It's too much. It's too over the top. We watched Die Hard over the weekend.
I went and seen Christmas Vacation at the Canton Palace Theater.
How was it on the big screen?
Oh, it
Because I
was
watched
great.
that this weekend too, but I didn't go.
And everybody was cracking up. It was pretty fun.
Was everybody dressed up?
Oh yeah, there was a bunch of guys that wore the
Robe
hockey
and
jersey
Oh, the hockey jersey.
that said Griswold on them.
Yeah.
And then the one guy came in, he had the cardigan on and he had a squirrel attached to his back.
Yeah,
That was
the
pretty great.
Cardigan was, Eddie's cardigan was pretty classic. That
See,
was a
we had that here
killer
too.
song.
We had that here too, but Chevy Chase actually came and he did the narration
Yeah.
of the movie.
That'd have been cool.
We didn't go though. We were going to, but we
How
skipped
long
out
ago
on.
was
Pretty.
that?
What's that?
This year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was in pretty bad shape. Maybe not.
He's got to be getting up there, right?
Oh yeah.
Bill Murray
But they
too.
do have a National Lampoon's Vacation 2 or Christmas Vacation 2 coming out. It's going to be on Prime, I believe.
I believe that was fake.
No.
I'm pretty sure it was AI fake. Yep.
Really?
Yep. Pretty
That's
sure.
not.
Pretty sure. Another one of those. They got you. They got a
I
bunch of
seen
people with that one. Yeah.
I seen a video of Chevy Chase and Quaid together talking about something, but I didn't hear what they were talking about. I didn't actually.
Well, there's a
Randy.
commercial out too with them.
I heard it was fake.
It's possible. You never know.
No,
but
you don't know. With AI anymore, they can do all that stuff. Make it
It'd be
look real.
nice.
That's why I'm still not sold on the Goonies thing. I want the Goonies thing to be real bad because those guys are still in decent enough shape, other than maybe Corey Feldman, to pull off a reunion movie. The Goonies people,
Right.
if they do them as adults, they may do that like the Ghostbusters and make it a new cast. I don't know, and just have the old people do cameos. I don't know.
We watched the end of Christmas Vacation because we just went to bed and I was flipping through the channels, so we watched the end of it. And I said to Minnie Kay, I said, "Now ask me this." And she said, "What?" I said, "Do I look like this woman?" She goes, "Yes, Mom, you do."
Beverly
goes, "Who is that?"
D'Angelo.
I said, "Beverly D'Angelo." Pat
You
goes,
do.
"I don't see anything like it." But Carrie
No?
goes, "Yes, Mom, you do."
He doesn't see it, huh?
No.
Hmm.
Mm-mm.
That's odd. It seems pretty obvious to me.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell's going on outside. I think we have a leaf pickup today. Hold on, let me check.
We can't hear it. The noise reduction cuts all that shit out. Well, my furnace quit working again this weekend.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know. It's working this morning though. So I don't know what happened. All I did was change the setting. I don't know if that fixed it or it fixed itself, whatever, but it kicked on this morning. Everything was up to temp again. So, and it's cold. It's 20 degrees out. So
Yeah, it's cold.
that's usually every time it's happened has been when the temperature dipped below 25. That's when the geothermal kicks off and the furnace is supposed to run by itself. And it failed. I had to have a fire this weekend. It was cold in the house. Pissed me off. I told her, I was like, she's like, I don't want to call him on the weekend. I'm like, call that motherfucker. I don't care. Call him at home, get him up in his boxers and get his ass over here.
Especially since you have a baby in the
Right.
house now.
That's my
Yeah.
motivation.
Yep.
But we waited. I said, call him today anyway and let him know that it did fail, but it's working again. Because I walked downstairs and we got that coming out of the side of the furnace. There's a little duct pipe and it's got a flapper on it to help heat and cool the basement because there's no vents down here at all. So when I walked by that, it hit me and it was hot. I was like, holy shit, it's working again. And then I went over and looked. It's got little zone marker lights and everything was on. So I was like, whatever. It's back on. So whatever all I did was it was on auto and I just switched it to straight heat instead of auto heat. And I don't know if that fixed it or it worked its own problems out. I have no idea, but it started working again. So
What kind of heat system do you have?
electric.
Mm-hmm.
But it has a geothermal backup.
Yeah.
The geothermal runs until it gets below a certain temperature, and then it kicks off, and then the furnace runs by itself. The furnace blows the air no matter what. It uses the furnace fan to blow the air, but it'll get the heat from the ground, from those pipes that are in the ground, up until it drops below a certain temperature. And then the regular furnace kicks on by itself. And that's when it seems to fail. And it's failed every year that we've had it. Every time it gets cold enough that the geothermal is supposed to kick off and the furnace is supposed to kick on, it doesn't. And it happened again. I was watching the temperature in the house. It's always on the one side of the house. That's the side there's no heated floors or anything. So it kind of makes sense that side would drop first. You know, because the house is pretty well insulated. So it holds heat for a long time. But once it gets cold, it takes forever to get it back up to temp. But for some reason, it just started working again. So whatever. I told her I'd call him anyway, let him know what happened, just in case, you know, keep him on standby. Because if it fails again, I want that system out of here. They can fucking take it home, put it in their pocket, and leave. Because it's never worked. We've been in the house. It'll be, was it 2 years now? 3 years, something like that. But it's failed every winter. We moved in at Christmas time, and then it failed. The first time we moved in. And then the following Christmas, it failed again. And then this year, Thanksgiving, it failed again. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully that keeps it up. We're going to do Win Bondley's money a little bit later today. We got Weather with Heather. Tisha's going to do a pick 3 for us since she don't have her usual bit on Mondays. So I'm going to let you be mentally prepared for that. Their little T. Give everybody a pick 3 number. A little bit later. We're going to talk about sibling rivalry / physical assaults today. I posted a meme in chat. I don't know if any of you guys saw it or not, but it was a picture. It was an old school like art picture. You know, I'm sure the painting is famous, but I don't know anything about that kind of shit, so I have no idea. But like the one guy has an arrow in his eye, and the thing says, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're fine, don't tell mom." I don't know if anybody grew up with with brothers, you know that scene where you've done that. You hurt one of them, or one of them hurt you, and they're always like, "Don't tell mom," or you broke something. We broke her. Yeah, that one. We broke her. This, I don't know what it was, like a lava lamp, not a lava lamp. What, the volcano lamp? I think those things are called. They were like super fragile, and we were fucking around in the house, like we always did. And I think we were playing ball or something. I don't know. But anyhow, we broke the globe on this thing. So we decided, because we knew she was going to be pissed. She was at work. So we decided it'd be okay if we took fingernail polish, which was the only glue we had, the only thing that even resembled glue in the house, and we put it back together. And the pieces all broke really big. It wasn't like that shatterproof glass. It was real glass. So all the pieces broke huge, but there were like 10 or 12 pieces. It was pretty well fucked. But we painstakingly put this thing together as painstakingly as we, as 10-year-old kids, could, with this red fingernail polish, thinking she would never notice. We got it back together, and we put the globe back inside the lamp. It didn't even take her like 2 seconds when she walked in the house. Yeah, sons of bitches. What did you do to my lamp? Like it looked terrible. I wish we'd have had what the hell was that? Something beeped in my ear.
I heard it.
Really?
Too. Yeah.
Huh. I don't know what the hell that was. Must be something in the meeting. Let's go back to the meeting. Maybe it's because we're out of the meeting too long. No, we're at the meeting. I don't know what's going on. That's weird. Anyhow, Jeff said something about a pool stick to the leg. I don't remember. I'm going to have to ask him what that story was. Because I don't remember a pool stick to the leg. In the leg. That sounds good. It doesn't surprise me that we had a story that revolved around a pool stick in the leg, but we had some doozies, man. I remember one time, and it was always me and Larry, because he I don't know, because we were a year apart. I don't know if that's what it was, or if it's because he was the evil middle child. But we always had like epic knockdown, drag out fights that would just last. Now I remember one time, my mom, she's like, "You two just go out in the yard and fight it out. I'm tired of hearing you bitch." So we went at it, and it was like that fight from They Live. I'm telling you, this is not an exaggeration. It went on forever. I beat his ass. I hit him with stuff. I threw him into the trailer. His body slammed him, and he just kept coming back for more. And we ended up in a wrestling thing where we were pounding each other on the ground. My mom took scalding hot water out of off the stove and threw it on us to try and get us apart. Then her solution eventually was to buy us boxing gloves. And I remember the first time we used them, they were, I don't know if it was her or my stepdad, together they came up with this idea that it'd be better, we would maybe hurt each other less if we had boxing gloves on. So they bought us these Everlast boxing gloves, and they were kind of heavy. At least they seemed like it at the time. I don't know. But I remember being in their bedroom, and they're like, "All right, we're going to do how many ever." I can't remember exactly what the number was, but they were 1 minute rounds. So you could just fucking go at it for 1 minute. So the first round, they're like, ding, and him and I both swung for the fences, and we missed. But when we missed, like, the weight of the gloves threw our balance off. And I mean, you couldn't have done this on purpose. Our bodies leaned forward, and we head-butted each other and knocked each other out cold.
Oh.
Both of us ended up on the ground. I remember I just woke up and I was like, what the fuck was that? And then he was still out when I woke up. Yeah, we clashed heads and both got knocked out. So we kept those gloves for years after that. I remember I put them on with my mom one time. She was really, this is why I think it was her idea, because she was really into boxing. Like, she was a huge fan. She was really into it. And she's like, I can't remember what I think I was laughing at her when she spanked me one time, because it was like, come on. And she convinced me to put the gloves on with her. And I was laughing. Yeah, I was probably, I don't know, 12-ish. So I was kind of feeling my oats a little bit, thinking I could, so I'm dancing around, got my hands up, going, hey. Next thing I know, boom, fucking, I'm on my back, looking at the lights, going, what the fuck was that? So I get back up. I was like, she must have got lucky. So I'm dancing around again. I got my gloves moving. Pop! Right out of nowhere, man. Down I go again. I'm like, oh, this shit's real. So I get up and I'm like, okay, you want to fight? You want to fight? Pop! Down I go again. I never even got the swing. Never even cocked my arm back. She hit me so hard. The third time I was like, okay, I quit. I don't want to do this anymore. It wasn't fun anymore. And she told my oldest brother, she's like, put the gloves on. He's like, oh, I can't do that. Yeah, you can't. You just saw me get my ass whipped. He didn't want any fucking part of it. I know what it is. I'm getting messages, and it's because we're on Facebook. Let me get rid of Facebook here. There it is. That's what it was. I still, what we tried to do. Larry sharpened a pool stick on a sidewalk and stabbed you in the leg. I believe that. I don't remember the incident. He was crazy, man. I'm sure he still is. I haven't talked to him in years, but
I was gonna say, was
I don't remember him sharpening the pool stick on the sidewalk and stabbing me, but that's totally his MO. That's totally his MO. He came after me one time. He had this 2x4 that had 2 10-penny nails sticking out of it. Those are big fucking nails. And he swung it at me like full force. And I just ducked enough where he got it stuck in the drywall, and I just beat the fuck out of him. Because I thought I was fighting for my life. I thought he was going to kill me with that fucking thing. And he probably would have. But I beat his ass, and he goes into Mom. Oh, Tommy beat me up again. And she come out, and she had the belt in her hand. She was going to beat the fuck out of me, but the board was still stuck in the wall. And she's like, what is that? I said, he tried to kill me with that board, so I beat him up. And I pulled it out, and she saw the nails and just fucking waylaid his ass and beat the shit out of that belt. So yeah, there were violent days. You guys didn't have any of that with your siblings? Well, Tisha, your sister was a bit older, right?
She's 3 years older than I. The only thing I can remember is I don't even know why she even did it, but she took a small pin and she took it and she put it right on my back and went straight down from my neck all the way down to my lower back. I don't know why she even did it. But I was pissed. Yeah. So she got in trouble for that because I went down and told my mom and dad. I said, this is what she did. But it's like,
were you being annoying or what?
I must have been. I don't. That's probably something that she did, and I'm just gonna say I'm gonna tell on you because
yeah,
I had to.
There's always that.
Because she would blame me for everything that she done. So it's like I have to tell my dad because I would be the one getting in trouble for it.
Right. So she was kind of like Chet from Weird Science.
that was great.
That was great. But Mike and I never. Well, we had a couple of spats that got physical, but he was like your sister. He was 3.5 years older than me, so we didn't really get into it that much, even though we were about the same size. He was way more athletic than I was, so he always won. But I got a couple shots in here and there. Deborah Ann Lackey posted. I posted that picture in chat, and she said that she had her brother shot her with an arrow and a BB gun. That's the thing about being a girl and having brothers, and especially if you lived like we did, where there wasn't really anybody around. You know, my sister got stuck into that shit all the time. She got smart and eventually just started keeping to herself. Like when we had the BB gun wars, she didn't even participate. She didn't want any part of it. Of course, she didn't have a BB gun either, so maybe that was why. But yeah, we did that. We went up in the woods right after Christmas, right after we got them. I remember my mom protesting us getting the BB gun. She goes, "They won't do anything good with it. It's only bad things can happen." And my stepdad, "Well, they need to learn responsibility." Yeah, that's what it was. So yeah, we went up in the woods and just fucking started shooting each other. No safety glasses on. You know, we would wear like our winter parkas. That was our safety gear. And we had bruises and welts. I got shot. Like, it wasn't in my eyeball, but it was like beside my nose in the eye. Of course, that was Larry who shot me there. But yeah, we would duel to the death on those things. Just dumb. I've got stitches in the back of my head, that big dent. If you've ever stood behind me, there's a giant dent in the back of my head. That's from Larry with a Zippo lighter. Fucking those things, man. Those things are deadly weapons if you throw them hard enough. Nothing from you, Bonzo. I know your uncle's a little bit older, but your brother.
Nah, I would fight with him, but not like we would never get in like. He would always beat me up.
Yeah,
but I remember pinning him and his buddies in the basement, and I had a BB gun. I was shooting the shit out of them. They were trying to. They pissed me off one day. They were picking on me, so I found my BB gun and went down there, and I sat on the steps so they couldn't get out of the basement.
How many BBs did you have?
Was
it one of those ones where you spit them in?
Yeah, you put it in the barrel and it fills up. Yeah, I was just unloading on them.
Because you could fucking go all day with those.
But yeah, they were hiding behind I knew I was going to get my ass kicked when I ran out of BBs, but it was worth it. I used to beat up on my brother, but
he was quite a bit younger, wasn't he?
I think he's 4 years younger than me, maybe. But now he's 3 times my size.
Oh yeah, he's big.
Snap me like a twig. But yeah, my uncle would come over, like he would hang out at my mom and dad's, and back then we were into the wrestling. So he'd like be professional. He would always my uncle would always instigate it. Hey, get your brother into a camel clutch, so I'd get him down and put him in a camel clutch. I'm glad I didn't ever break his neck or something, man. I was always...
because just like the Three Stooges, if you do what they did for real, that shit is dangerous.
Oh yeah, poke people in the eye and yeah.
Yeah, the Cobra clutch, that was pretty good.
I remember one time he was showing off. This was when I was probably, I was driving. He was probably, I don't know. He was probably 13, I'm guessing. So I'm laying on the floor in the living room watching TV, and him and his buddies come in, and they started fucking around and acting all tough. And he goes over to the TV and acts like he's going to turn it off. I said, "Don't fucking turn that TV off." They're all laughing, you know. He's like reaching over like he's going to shut it off. I said, "Don't turn that TV off. I'm warning you right now." So he reaches over and he hits it real quick, shuts it off, and he takes off running out the back door. And all his buddies and him run out the back door, and they jump on their bikes. So I took off running through the house, and I busted through the front door, and I came around, and the driveway ran up the side of the house. So they're coming up the driveway along the side of the house, and I just clotheslined him off his bike. I mean, as hard as I could. He would come flying by, and I hit him right across the neck, and he flew off his bike and landed on his back, and he was crying, and his buddies were all shit in their pants. I thought I killed him that day, but I was pissed. I told him, I said, don't do it. But he still had to show off in front of his buddies.
Yeah. Fucking Larry and Scotty, they would get together and do shit to me. Like this one time, we got these knives for Christmas. It was just a pocket knife. But I loved mine. I thought it was an old timer. I thought it was the coolest knife ever. So
Mhm.
like I would sharpen it and I would play with it, and I'd go out in the woods and like cut limbs down with it because I thought it was fucking cool. Well, those little cocksuckers got together, and my mom had these two cherry blossom trees out in front of the house, in front of the farmhouse, and they carved my initials into both of them.
Oh, shit.
I mean, this is pretty smart for fucking 10, 11-year-olds. And they knew. I don't know how they knew, but they fucking knew. And my stepdad came unglued, beat my ass with the belt, took my knife and jammed it into the tree and busted the blade off of it. And I'm just like, I didn't do it. I'm like, I swear I didn't do it. And I don't know what happened, but he happened to look over and they were laughing. And he just knew. I don't know how he knew. He just knew that and so he beat the shit out of them, took both of their knives and gave them to me. And I was like, I don't want them. Their knives are fucking dumb. One of them was shaped like a banana or something. It was, those
Oh, yeah.
S kind of shaped ones.
Mhm.
One was like that, and the other one was like, it was just dumb. It wasn't. I loved my knife. I thought my knife was cool as fuck. And yeah, so it didn't. I got two knives out of the deal, but it didn't. It didn't satisfy me. And they had to get their asses beat in front of me. I got to watch, but that was kind of nice. That part was kind of fun. But then this one time at the same house, we had this. I told you guys stories before about my sister crashing the motorcycle on this figure eight thing we had.
Mhm.
Our
Yeah.
yard was like a hill. The hill came out of the pasture, went across the driveway, and then went back up to the bank barn because the barn was up on a bank. So it was like a downhill, then an uphill, and the driveway separated it. So what we would do is we would build ramps and try to ramp across the driveway. We'd take our bikes, push them to the top of the pasture, take off flying down the hill, hit the ramp, try to clear the driveway, and get into the other. You didn't get hurt if you didn't clear it, but that was our goal, so you could go fast enough. So we decided to try it with this. We had a 10-speed one time. I don't remember whose it was. It wasn't a Christmas gift. It must have been like a hand-me-down 10-speed or something. I don't remember where we got it from. But we were like hyping each other. I'm telling you, I think I can make it with the 10-speed because it's fast. So I started at the top of the hill. I take off sideways and then I aim down the hill and I'm pedaling my ass up, just trying to get this thing on. And we had a nice big wide ramp, so I didn't have to worry about my cross eyes fucking with me and me missing the ramp and crashing. It was a nice big wide ramp. There was no way I was going to miss it. So I'm like, I'm going to make it this time. I'm going to clear that fucking driveway. So I'm like, whoosh, up in the air, and then the front wheel just goes, whoop, gone. They had taken the bolts off, the nuts off the
fuck.
front
Oh,
wheel.
geez.
So I'm like, I'm in the air, and I'm like, it all felt like it was going like a half a mile an hour because it was like slow motion. So I hit, and I mean, when I'm telling you that bike stopped dead, those forks dug into the ground, and over the handlebars I went, and I hit the ground so hard that it pushed a part of the driveway and then a part of the yard up into, it turned into like a wave of top where I'd skinned the top off of it with my body. And I was laying there underneath this wave of mud and dirt, and I was like, and they're running already. They took off. They enjoyed the crash and then took off. They were gone. I didn't see them the rest of the day because they knew retribution was coming. I don't think I ever got to pay them back for that one, but that was one of their little conspiracies they used to do against me all the time. And shortly after that, I was at the age where I started doing sports and all that, so I was going all the time. So a lot of those shenanigans quit, but there were there were a bunch. I'm missing probably 600 fights. Like that one Jeff was talking about with the pool stick. Larry stabbed me in the leg. I don't even remember it. But I'm sure it happened. If he said, Jeff's got a way better memory than I do. And I kind of vaguely remember something about it. And if I know Larry, it was probably a pretty decent wound. So he probably threw it like a spear at me. Little shit. I remember you telling me that, like, you guys would go to the store and your uncle would, like, put toys in your pants and stuff. That's kind of
yeah.
bullying, right?
He'd make me shoplift for him. We used to go to the grocery store with my grandpa every weekend. That's when he'd go shopping because he worked. He was a bricklayer, so he worked a lot of hours and usually
Well, no
till
wonder
the
he could
weekend.
fucking bowl up into his 80s.
Mm-hmm.
He probably had monkey grip strength.
So he would go shopping and we'd always go. Well, not always, but every once in a while we'd go grocery shopping with because he'd buy you, like I told you the story, he'd buy you cereal if you wanted to have cereal or whatever. So there was this one grocery store. They had one little aisle that had toys in it, and I remember my uncle's like, "Come here," and his buddies were with. I don't know how many buddies. I think he had 2 buddies with him. I'm like, what? They're
How
like,
old would they have been?
I was probably 10 maybe, and they were probably 13. So they were like, "Come here, turn around." I'm like, "What are we doing?" And he's like, "Hold still." And he pulled my shirt up and jammed some stuff down the back of my pants. He's like, "Hold still." I'm like, we can't do this. We're gonna get in trouble. We're gonna get caught." And he's like, "Shut up." And he kept jamming shit in there. And then he covered my shirt back down. He's like, "Okay, go back out to the car." I said, "I don't want to. I'm gonna get in trouble." And he's like, "Go back out to the car now." He made me go out. So I'm walking out the store all by myself, I'm freaking out. And I ended up going out and they never stopped. They didn't see me or nothing. I felt like shit. But yeah, and then they got the toys after we got home. They didn't say anything to my grandpa, and they took me downstairs. There, we had a pool table in the basement, so they took me down there and they emptied my loot out, and they started divvying it up, and they didn't even give me anything. They kept all the shit and didn't give me any of the toys. And then I was like, "I'm gonna tell if I don't get." Well, then finally they gave me something.
You had to
But
threaten to rat him
I
out to
think
get
I
everything.
think my grandpa ended up finding out about it somehow. I don't know if I told him or I don't remember.
Probably you guys
But
are out fishing. You're
I
like,
think he
"Hey."
ended up taking them off of him and maybe returning them. I don't remember.
Oh, that's the worst. Having to
But
return it.
yeah, I never was. I never shoplifted like that before, and I was freaking out.
I did.
I
I
never
got caught
shoplifted
once.
after that either.
I
It
got
just
caught
scared the
once and
shit
they
out of
called the
me.
police on me, and that cured me.
Hang on.
Same thing. I had an older stepbrother. He was like making me steal cigarettes for him. He didn't make me. He just asked me to, and I did it. I didn't. I had this whole routine down where I'd go into this grocery store and I'd tear a box of fucking Marlboros open. I'd shove a pack down my shorts and take off. That was like 6 or 7. I think I was 6. Pretty sure I was 6. And I got caught like about the 18th time I did it. And they called the cops. And the police station was right across the street, so it wasn't very far. But they put me in a jail cell to make me wait while he typed out the report. And it was probably only a minute or two, but man, it felt like an eternity. I was in there pacing. I just felt like I was going to die. It cured me. I was done.
Yeah.
My criminal years were over. The ass beating I took when I got home was nothing compared to that couple of minutes I spent in that padded jail cell. I was like, that door shut, clank. I was like, oh. And it wasn't like a barred door either. It was one of the ones that had a window in the top.
Yeah.
So I couldn't see anything. There was these two, like, the beds were made of steel built into the walls. And then they had this, it wasn't leather, but it was like that vinyl, that glittery vinyl. It was red.
Yeah.
It was red glittery vinyl over the mattress part, and then there was pillows there. So it was like, it was weird. I just remember it being fucking weird and scary. And I was like, no, thank you. That was the end of that shit. I was like, I don't want any part of this. And of course, they put me in the back of the cop car and took me home. Told my mom she beat the shit out of me, but that part was fine. At least I was home. I was like, whew. I didn't think I was ever going home again. Thought it was going to be like on the movies where you you disappeared to a jail cell and never come back out. But I remember you were talking about wrestling.
Yeah.
And we had this, when we moved to New Philly, we moved to these apartments that were on the south side. They were called Shots Apartments then. I don't know. I think it's called Quaker Court now.
I know exactly where you're talking.
Yeah, they've been around forever. Compared to the fucking houses we lived in, it was like a mansion. Even though there was 3 apartments in a building, they had carpet on the floors, the running water. It seemed like
the Jeffersons.
Oh,
Huh?
it did. It seemed like we were moving on up. It really did. But there were a lot of people that lived there, so there was a lot of personalities, and it was kind of a cool time, because there was girl families there, so that part was pretty cool. But there was this older guy that was my brother's age. His name was Max. Max never had a job ever. I mean, I'm sure he did eventually, but not while we lived there. And this was the early 80s, so the jobs weren't what they are now. There were a few. You could get stuff, but it was just starting to turn the corner where the jobs were becoming plentiful. It was like an in-between time. But he would come out and play with us because he was bored, I guess. We were, I was 14. My friend Bo was 13, and Max was probably 18. But he would hang out with us once in a while, and we would get into that, professional wrestling stuff. We would fucking do that shit, like you said. And I remember this one time he was like, he put Bo in a bulldog. You remember what the bulldog was? Where you grab him in a headlock and you take off running and you fall down.
You
drive it. Well,
he break his neck.
He broke his arm.
Oh, jeez.
He was running. Next thing you know, Bo's like, oh, he gets up and we're like, oh, you pussy, come on. He took off running, and he was a tough kid. Him and his brother were both boxers, and they were fucking tough kids. So I was like, oh shit, he must be actually hurt. And then we saw him the next day, and he had a fucking cast on his arm. Fucking broke one of the bones of his forearm.
Jeez.
So that wrestling shit is dangerous. But we still, even after that, we still did it. I don't know if it's just because we didn't really have any, we had an Atari, but it was a couple years before the Nintendo was affordable. It was out then. It just wasn't affordable. So we were still the outside feral children playing. We would do all kind of crazy games. His grandpa had money, and they had a nice pool and everything. We'd go over there and swim in the pool, but we would take his golf clubs and we would go to the church, and we would make like a part of the building was like the hole. And we would just like start from another part of the building. You had to go like around a corner and hit this side of the building. I don't know how the hell we got away with that. We tore the shit out of their yard, taking divots out with those golf clubs. But boredom led to all kind of cool games we used to play. But some of that was like, it wasn't that cool. Like we would do shit to cars to get them to chase us. Throw snowballs at them or whatever. That was fun though.
Didn't you say you guys would play dead or something in the street?
That was we were younger. That was down in Caldwell. Yeah, we would lay by 821. Larry and Steven. Larry would play dead, and Stephen Henthorne would wave cars down. We would do it frantically, like like somebody was hurt. Like the very first time we did it, like 8 cars stopped, and we were like, "Oh shit!" So what do we do now? So we jumped up, took off running, and then we laid in the bushes and listened to him. I thought he was dead, little bastards. We're pissed. But yeah. But down there in New Philly, we hit this car with a snowball. Man, that guy fucking, he fucking chased us forever. Not as far as the guy whose door we knocked on. There's these two people making out in an El Camino behind Starlight. And it was a popular place for that because it was dark back then. There was no houses back there. It was all cornfields. It's all houses now. They built all that up. It's all like developed now. But before, it used to just be woods. It was Indian Hill. We would take our bikes top of Indian Hill and ride down through the woods. It was like this motocross slalom thing we would do. But there was also cornfields back there. So we would go back there and pick our corn for corn-in and do whatever. But there was always, it was a popular makeout spot. And it wasn't like you see in the movies where like 5 cars. There's always just 1 car. But there's every weekend, there's almost always a car back there. And I don't know if this dude was frustrated or what, but we would hide in the woods and we saw this dude. The windows was fogged up. We knew what they were doing. We were old enough to know what they were doing. So we'd send Larry down because he was always the fastest and have him knock on there. He would just creep. We would laugh. We would just lay in the woods and laugh, watch him creep up to the, because he would like belly crawl and then run to a tree and hide for a second and then run into, like a secret agent, And he would make his way and he knocked on their window and took off fucking running, and you'd see the first time the window rolled down. And we're laughing, Larry sprinting back up to the woods. And we let it cool down. They get their window rolled back up. They're probably going at it again. We're like, all right, go again. He sneaks down there, does it again, does like the belly crawl and the army thing and secret agent man, tree to tree, and he knocks on the window and takes off fucking running. And we're just, ha, 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 ha. You hear that guy, hey, you fucking kids, you keep it up, I'm going to kick your asses. And we're just laughing, we're like, do it again, Larry. He sneaks down there. And we waited long enough because the guy didn't pop out right away, but Larry had a good, 20-yard lead on him by the time. He must have been pulling his pants up. But he did. He come out of the car. He come after us on foot. We all hid successfully, and he didn't find us. Then he drove around for like an hour looking for us. We'd see the car come back by again. We'd fucking laugh. And he knew because those apartments were right there by Starlight. So he had to know that's where we came from. So he kept going through there and he kept going around the block, around that big church. And, back then Starlight was a dead end. Now you go back there, you can drive through to the new part of the Starlight and get back out. You couldn't do that back then. It was all dead end. And, but yeah, he would drive. It was like an hour, at least an hour. But yeah, we may have actually corned him too. We may have had corn and threw it at his car when he was driving around looking for us, if I remember correctly. We did something else. I don't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, that dude was pissed. He trying to get some poo nanny, and we fucking we interrupted him. Yeah, those days were cool. Corning and all that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what makes it fun. You're going to get in trouble eventually.
I told you about the lady at my grandma's up there in Prow where we always hung out.
Mm-hmm.
We'd go corning and stuff for Halloween. There was this one lady. She was married, but she seemed like a tomboy type person.
Right, yeah.
She would come out, and she was fast. She was athletic.
She was fast.
She would chase us, and when she'd catch one of us, she'd take our pants off.
Really?
She'd take our pants off and keep them, and you either had to go back and get them or go get your...
Whoa. She kept your pants?
Yeah, she kept them. She would pull your pants off. You'd run around in your underwear, and you'd have to go get them, or your parents would have to go get them.
So that's why she knew. She knew she got you.
You want your pants. You want your pants. You either come get them or go get your parents to come and get them.
That's kind of smart, but you'd be in fucking jail now.
I remember she caught the one kid and he was trying to squirm away and she ripped his pants off and he got up and took off running and he had underwear on, but it was hilarious. But yeah, that's what she do. If she caught you, your pants were coming off.
Oh my God. That would have been awesome. Because when there's punishment at the end of the line, it makes it more fun.
Yeah, that's why we always who's corn in so and so's house today.
Whatever her name was.
Because we would always pick somebody to go up and corn it or knock on the door. You know.
Oh yeah, do the ding dong ditch thing.
Yeah. Uh huh.
That's the polite term.
Yep. But yeah,
Those were good times.
That's what she did.
We used to play ditch 'em. We would walk down these back roads because that's all there was down there in Caldwell was back roads. And anytime you see a car, we would just run for no reason. Lay down in a ditch, do whatever, hide. For no reason. We weren't even doing anything. We were just walking down the road, but it made it fun because the cars always stopped. Every time. I cannot remember a single time that the car just drove by and didn't slow down and stop and look. I don't know if they were paranoid that we put something in the road, had a line across the road or whatever it was. They always stopped. And my buddy Dale Harper, we called him Shelton back then. That's what his mom called him. So that's what we called him. He was a big dude. He was like 6 foot in 6th grade. He was just huge. They called him the Dudley Giant. But he had this brother or stepbrother, half-brother. It was a half-brother named Glenn, who was just not that bright. You know what I mean? He was fun to hang around with, but he was a little slow. And we were playing ditch him one night, and he was with us. Usually Glenn didn't come with us, but for some reason, him and Mike were with us this time. And we were down by Pine Lake. That was where they got the baseball field I showed you. They filled in the pond. It was that little curvy road. We were walking that road, and we see the headlights coming. So, time to ditch them. It's like half of us run up into the woods. A couple of us drop down over by the pond. And Glenn lays in the ditch right beside the road. There's a drainage ditch right there. He just lays right beside the ditch. And this car pulls almost right on top of him. And it's a sheriff. It's a deputy sheriff. So the lights come on, the spotlight comes. He gets out with his flashlight and he walks around his car and he sees Glenn laying there. He's like, he starts screaming at him. I could have killed you, you dumbass. What are you guys doing? And we're within earshot, so we can hear what's going on. And Glenn starts explaining ditch him to him. He goes, that's the dumbest thing I have ever heard. He's like, hey! He's like, you guys get down here right now. So we're all come out of the window. Yeah. And he's like, you guys realize how stupid this is? We're like, well, we didn't want to. I'm like, we don't know why he laid by the road. Like, you're supposed to run away and get people to chase you. That's the whole game. He's like, that's stupid. You're going to get hurt. You're going to find a crazy person. Blah. I can't. He went off on us for a couple minutes and then he just let us go. Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. Ignore the Facebook. That Facebook Live is replaying, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's what this dude's telling me.
Okay.
I got to send him the website. There. It doesn't look like it should. WBAMradio.com. Yeah, I got it right. Just want to make sure. See if it works. Yeah, it works. But yeah, one of the guys from work was like, how do you listen? He's like, the Facebook thing keeps cutting out. That's because it's probably on a 10-second loop because that's all we recorded was about 10 seconds of it.
Yep. That's what I'm doing. That's what it's doing. Yeah, I seen it.
I need to figure out how to get on Facebook and cancel that.
You can just go onto your page and delete it, I believe. If you just go onto your, hold on a second. Let me see if I can.
Yep, it is. Let me edit post.
Yep.
It's fucking funny.
We look fabulous on there, don't we?
Yeah, we do. It's going to work if I can get the audio figured out. Move to trash. Oh. You son of a gun. Well, I think I killed it anyway.
Okay.
I think. Nope.
Let's see.
Yep, move to trash.
Me and my buddies, we'd always spend the night at a friend of ours, one of the guys, and we'd all sleep in the living room. And then I don't know how we came up with this, but
Where you
one
guys
night
touch each other's wieners.
yeah, that one, yeah. You didn't play that game? No,
We did.
we snuck out. We snuck out the we'd wait till his parents went to bed, and then we'd climb out the living room window, and then we'd walk around the neighborhood middle of the night. And then one day one night we were like, hey, let's see if we can move this car. So we all got on the back of the car and we would count to like 3 and then pick it up, move it, pick it up, and just hop it across.
Mhm.
Then we'd turn it completely
It's surprisingly
sideways.
easy.
It is. We'd turn it sideways in the street. It'd be sitting sideways when they got up in the morning. But one night it was snowing and we could slide the car. So we went to this one. It was called the Little Theater. It was a little. They put
Mhm.
plays on there, and the parking lot was packed. So we went over there, and it was snowing, so we could slide the cars like super easy. So we picked all the cars up, and we slid like the ass end of one car into the other car, and like turned them so they couldn't get out of the parking lot. I don't know, but we didn't stay to see what happened, but it was great. And then one night we had this math teacher that the one kid hated,
Mm.
and she had this Camaro, and we seen it sitting at her house, and we're like, oh, we gotta move her
It wasn't
car.
Miss Egler, was it?
Yeah.
Well, how can you hate Miss Egler? She was awesome.
I liked her.
She was great, but I remember she had that brown Camaro.
Yeah, but we went over to her house, and we were like, okay, we're gonna move this thing. So we was like, 1, 2, 3, picked, and it didn't budge. I'm like, what the fuck?
She was.
Okay, we tried it again. No, she
was a
wasn't
big
sitting
woman.
in it. And then we did it again. We barely got it moved, and we kept doing it. And I was like, holy shit, this car is heavy. I've never felt a car like this. So the next day, like that Monday, we come in there, and the kid she didn't like, she's like, boy, you guys must got to work out there. And I didn't. And she's like, what are you talking about? She said, I had 400 pounds of lifting weights in the back of my trunk. She had a bunch of weights in her car. I'm like, no wonder it was so damn heavy.
It had to have been. Yeah, she was kind of a boyish woman, mannish
Yeah.
woman or whatever.
And she was a coach too.
Yeah.
I don't know what all she
Softball.
coached, but yeah. So she had a bunch of weights in her car.
Yeah, she was cool, man. I liked her a lot when I had her for algebra.
I liked her too. But my one friend, they didn't get along. She would always, harass him, and he was like
Isn't that
class
weird,
clown
man?
type.
Isn't that weird though? How you get like a super popular teacher like that? They always fucked with somebody. All of them.
Yeah.
All the teachers had somebody they fucked with.
Well, if you have a class clown or something, a lot of them don't.
Well, that was me in most classes, but
Yeah.
some of the teachers liked it and some of them didn't. But we had a teacher in 8th grade. He was a 7th grade social studies teacher, but we were in 8th grade when we did this. And it was the exact same thing. We were at a dance, and the faculty parking lot at remember when we went to get your boat? I think we went by that. I told you that's where the junior high was in Dexter City.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right on the road was the faculty parking. It was just it wasn't even a closed parking lot. It was just this gravel area where the teachers parked. Everybody else parked around the building. Well, during the dance, Mr. Carroll was one of the chaperones. That was his name. He was this weird fucking dude. I mean, this was 1980, whatever, 82, somewhere in that range. And he still wore his hair like, what was that? My Three Sons. The grease combed over.
Yeah.
Like grease, like shiny.
Yeah.
And he had the same horn rim glasses like they did in that show. And his pants were always stuffed full of something. Like his pants looked square.
A sock.
It was just stuff. It was stuff. It was like keys, wallet, whatever. And there were those polyester pants. And he wore that goofy shirt with the goofy tie. He looked straight out of 1962. So he kind of drew our attention because of that. And he was a dick. He liked to give the paddle. That was his favorite thing in the world. And I got it a lot. So anyhow, me and my friends, we were at the 8th grade dance, and it got hot in there because school didn't have air conditioning. We were lucky it had heat. So we went outside to cool off, and it was about this time of year. But it wasn't super cold. It was probably, 40s or 50s. And the same thing. We're just like, let's go move Mr. Carroll's car. He had an old mid-50s Volkswagen. He had several of them. And he would drive different ones to school all the time, which was another thing. He drew attention to himself like that annoyed us. I don't know why. He had like a blue one, an orange one, and a yellow one. So he had the orange one there this night. And we're like, let's go move Mr. Carroll's car. So, and the engine's in the back of those. So we just grabbed the whole of the front end, and there was only like 4 of us, and we were junior high kids.
That's probably light as fuck.
We picked that thing up like it was nothing and swung it all sideways in the parking space between 2 cars. And we laughed. We just laughed for, I don't know how long we laughed for, but it seemed like an hour. We went back into the dance, and we're still laughing. We're looking over at Mr. Carroll, and we're still laughing. And he had to have known who it was because we were laughing. We just walked back in laughing. So when he goes out to the parking lot, I mean, all it took was one of the other cars to move, and he could get right out. But I don't know why that is like that. And when we did the Ditch'em thing, we would do the same thing. We always stayed at Shelton's house, and we always snuck out in the middle of the night to go do it. So these were it was like 2 a.m. when we would do this.
Yeah.
And I remember his mom caught us one night. Oh, she pissed. I think she had known we'd been sneaking out for a while. But she caught us and ripped us up, man. Made us sleep in the house because they had a garage. And in the summertime when it was warm, they had this loft over top of their garage. It had beds and stuff up there, and we would camp in there. It was like camping. And we would plot our revenge for the people in town that we didn't like. We pissed in this jug and kept it for a year to try to get really stinky. And that backfired because the plastic got old. So when we were running down the road, going to the revenge house to dump it on their deck, it fucking the jug gave out. We ended up getting covered in our own old piss.
That's
a year's
worst.
worth of nasty, disgusting boys. Boys are gross. We would sneak his dad's cigarettes. He had these fucking nasty ass. I can't remember what they were. Oh, they were called half and halves. You familiar with those?
No, I don't remember.
They looked like a cigarette, but they had cigar paper.
Oh.
But they were in a pack of 20, just like a regular cigarette. They were cigarette sized. They just had the dark brown leaf paper on them. And they were strong. I mean, strong. We tried smoking those things. Oh my God, you would just hack your head off for 15 minutes straight trying to get through them. But we smoked everything. We smoked vines off of trees to try to get it to work.
You smoked poles too.
Yeah. If the $20 is $20. But yeah, we smoked tea bags. You ever try that?
No.
No.
We would take a Lipton tea bag. We were just like feral children. We took the Lipton tea bag and you pull it open and you dump the tea into the paper part of the Lipton package, and we rolled it up like a cigarette, and it worked.
I imagine.
And it tasted pretty good. Like of all the cigarettes, fake cigarette things we did, poison ivy off the trees didn't go so well.
Oh.
Oh God.
Well, yeah, we were literally pull these vines off a tree, not even knowing what the fuck it was.
That could kill you.
You could have,
Yeah.
but and that worked too because they were hollow in the center. You light them with a lighter. Lord knows where we got a lighter from, and it would work. You could smoke them, but the tea bags it worked really good. It was shockingly well. Like it lasted.
Should have invented tea cigarettes, man. People would have not had There's no nicotine in that, is there?
No caffeine.
Yeah, there's caffeine, but
You would still get. I would assume you would get. You could have put that shit in a pipe,
yep.
and it tasted good. We tried smoking parsley. We smoked if it was dry and it looked like tobacco. I remember this kid. It's, I just got a message from Spongy over the thing about smoking parsley. We had this kid, Jim McVeigh was his name. I don't mind using names because he'll never listen to this, and B, he might not even be alive anymore. We're old now. But he was one of those fringe kids. You know what I mean? Like he was always trying to hang out with us and acted like he was like, oh, we got to, tried to be like super cool to be hanging. We weren't cool at all. I don't know why he tried to be cool, because we were not cool at all. But he was like, hey, man, I want to get high. And this is in high school. We're like sophomores, I think. And we're like, what do you want? And he's like, I want some weed, man. Because nobody got any weed. So we're like, he did this for like a week. So finally, I think it was Tony Ayers brought in a bag of parsley, and we emptied out a Marlboro and put it in there, and you could see that it was green, right? You could see that it wasn't, and we sold it to him for like, I think it was $1 We sold it to him. He comes back in after his lunch break. He's like, man, he's like, that was the best weed. I'm so high. We were just fucking laughing. I think we even sold him Marlboros at one point, just rolled them up separately. But he would pretend to get high off of it. And I've never smoked parsley, so maybe it does get you high. I don't know. It'll get you beat up if you sell it to the wrong person. I know that.
Definitely.
But
Or
yeah,
shot.
shot. Oh God, we were just terrible at that age. I remember Larry he was just the worst, and he would hang around with us. He wasn't in high school yet, but he always hung out with us because he failed like 3 times. He was like high school age, but he was like in the 7th grade. But he was. This is mean. I shouldn't even tell this story because there could be overweight people listening like me. But there was this fat lady that lived across the street and from the high school in one of those houses over there by Mark's place.
Mm.
And Larry and Tony, they were the same person. They were both A, fast as fuck, B, small as fuck, and C, mouthy as fuck. They were 2 peas in a pod. One was my friend Bill's little brother, and the other one was my little brother. And they hung out, and they got in trouble 24/7. The entire time they were together, the cops were always involved. They just could not sit still. But anyhow, they were torturing this poor fat woman that's across the street, and they were calling her Shamu or something. And Larry was making these weird like horn every time. I remember one day we were just standing. There was a breezeway. You remember how New Philly was? Remember the breezeway? People would just hang out in the breezeway. We were hanging out in the breezeway. It was a nice day. I don't know why.
The one that went to the gym, from the gym to the school. Yeah, okay.
We were like, they had the doors in the middle where you go in,
right.
and you could turn right and go to the gym, or turn left to go up to the school. We were kind of like right by those doors. And Tony and Larry were out there, and they were fucking with this woman again. And I just remember the doors like boom, and like Tony hit the floor. And Larry was right behind him. He made the turn and he's sprinting. We were like, "What the fuck?" And then here she comes, man. Oh, I know what it was. It wasn't the Auga horn. It was when they walked. She was like boom, boom, boom. They were doing that. And she, who was not even a student, she come in there, and I'm telling you, she was fucking moving. She had enough of their fucking shit, and she was gonna kill him, man. She come in and she started chasing Larry. We're like, what the fuck? We all like hit the wall, got out of the way because she was a big woman, but she was moving fast. And she ended up going to the office, and they got in trouble, of course. But they weren't allowed to go out for lunch for a while. But yeah,
Could you imagine nowadays with
Oh my
adults
God.
busted through the school doors after a kid?
Even if the kids were being little shits like that,
Right.
which we were definitely being little shits. But yeah, it was, oh man.
I got a question about.
Hmm.
I was talking about the Christmas movie,
Yeah.
Christmas Vacation. Did they edit that at all
Like, how
from
do you
its
mean?
original? I could have sworn. Well, I know they still put
I'm
that
sure
in
there's different cuts.
where Eddie's walking through the grocery store talking about the Christmas list and stuff, and
Right.
he's got a big bulge in his pants, as plain as day. And they kind of well, on this one that we went and seen, it was like barely in. He kept grabbing himself, and adjusting it,
Yeah, I remember that. But I
and
watched it.
then
I don't remember seeing it
and
the
then I
last time
could
I
have
watched it.
sworn when Clark was dreaming about the swimming pool, and the girl comes out of the pool and throws
Yeah.
her swimming suit at the. I could have sworn when the little girl comes in the room and he turns around, he had like his
Yeah.
robe was popped out like he had a
Yeah.
boner.
And it wasn't the last
And
time.
it's
You're right.
not
I
it's
expected to
not on
see
there
it.
anymore.
I expected to see it and it was gone. Yeah, that's probably smart that they got rid of that.
Yeah.
That's probably
But
that's
I was
probably a
like, I
bridge
could
too
have
far.
sworn because I watched it a few times over the years and it's not in there anymore. I'm like, I know I seen that on the movie when I watched it the first time. But because even when Eddie kidnaps the boss and her and his wife's describing Eddie to the cops,
Yeah, she's
she
like, he's
says
a
he's like
bulging, hulking man.
bulging. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. If you're not familiar with Win Bondley's money, we're down to $20 because somebody got a winner. So what we do is we pick a random number, 1 through 50. And I use a number randomizer and I spin it. And if the number you pick comes up, you win $20 on an Amazon gift card. So we're going to do that. So if you're listening out there, get your numbers into me, 1 through 50. 21 is already taken. So Pat and those guys, yep. You don't have to type it in. I already got you written down.
30.
30, 21 and 30 are taken. So get your numbers into me, and here in about 5 minutes or so, we'll draw for Win Bondley's money. But right now, it is time for...
And now it's time for the weather with Heather.
If it plays. Why ain't it playing? There it goes.
Tonight, in Athens, Greece, the weather sets the stage for a sultry evening. The skies are expected to clear gradually, leaving behind a low of 52 degrees. Gentle winds from the west by northwest will carry whispers of cool, crisp air, perfect for a late-night stroll through the city's ancient streets. As the sun rises tomorrow, the day promises to be a Mediterranean dream. Temperatures will peak at a tantalizing 70 degrees, with mostly sunny skies and a soft breeze coming from the south by southwest. Later, a scattering of playful clouds might tease the horizon, but the warmth of the day will linger into the night with lows around 63. Whether you're sipping wine under the stars or exploring Athens' rich history, the weather is ready to indulge your senses.
The weather with Heather. That was an old one that I played. I don't know where the other one went. I probably lost it. That was last Monday's. There's supposed to be a new one, but Heather probably sent it to me and I probably lost it. I'm terribly disorganized. So get your numbers into me, Mr. Smoke. Pick a number from 1 to 50. You can't use 21, 30, or 13. Take your stab at winning some cash. Are you prepared there, Miss Puddin', to do your thing?
I picked 3.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you need time or?
No, I got it.
Do you got music? Do you want to play with it?
No, I don't have. No, I'm not fancy like you are with
Do you
all
want me to
your
play
get up
your
over
Get
there.
Lucky? I can play your Get Lucky thing, but it says it doesn't. It says all the other stuff. There you go. Sponge picked 50.
All right.
All right.
Here,
Ever
here's
hear?
what I have in mind. Huh?
We're gonna do pick 3, everybody. This is our
You
resident
need to play this. Yes.
empath psychic lady is gonna give you a number, and you gotta go play the lottery. So play these numbers. Go ahead.
7, 9, 4.
Close. Jeff's birthday's on the 7th. Mine's
Oh,
on the
really?
9th. So we got to figure out who was on the 4th. When are your November birthdays? They're later than those ones, right?
Yeah.
Like the 14th and...
Yep. 10th,
Yeah.
11th, 14th, 19th. Yep.
Well,
And
14th could be
20th
a
now.
4. And 20th now, yes.
Yeah, we got a new addition.
All right, we got the numbers are all in. We're going to give her a spin here and see if we can get a winner today. Got to find that. There it is, the random booger picker. All right. Number and spin and survey says we do not have a winner. Shocking. Shocking.
Bummer.
It's a good number.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, 25.
Okay.
I sent it to the welcome room by accident. Let me change that. Nobody will see it in the welcome room. Like,
Who is this smoke guy?
welcome. Huh?
Who is this smoke guy?
Smoke?
Who is this smoke guy?
It's
Yeah.
a guy I work with.
Okay.
Barkley and I work with, yeah.
Well, he needs to come in the main chat.
He is in main chat.
Or did he just come in the main chat?
No, he joined a while ago.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he joined a while ago. He just doesn't participate often. I don't think he was aware of the morning show.
Oh, okay.
The morning show is, I guess it's not really new, but...
So his nickname is Smoke. That's weird because we have a friend. His nickname is Smoke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably
he lives
for the same reason.
Probably. Where's he live? I forget what they call it. Kentucky. There's another like state with that. What the heck is that called?
Tennessee?
Huh?
Tennessee?
Yeah, but he's in like the Kentucky Tennessee border kind of deal. I forget what they call
I
it.
think they border each other, yeah.
I forget how they say it. Shit, Pat would know. But yeah.
Well, like we call, down in Colville, we call it Noble Tucky. So it's probably something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember
Kentucky.
what it is. Pat would know.
Kentucky. Kentucky. I don't know.
Texarkana, something like that. I have no idea.
Well, there's a Texarkana, but
I
that's an
think that
actual,
might
that's
be
a
it.
real live place.
I believe that's it. I think that's
It actually, it borders both states.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Texarkana, Texas, Texarkana,
Yes,
Arkansas.
That's
right.
it. Yep.
Tennessee, Kentucky, Arkansas, whatever. Yeah, that's where Smokey and the Bandit. That's where they picked up their beer. There's beer in Texarkana, and they're thirsty in Atlanta. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
We'll get her done no
Yeah.
matter what it takes. That one. Eastbound. Then it was westbound down after it changed. If you heard the radio song. It started out as eastbound and down, then ended up westbound and down. All right, let me go through my list to make sure I didn't miss anything. We got Heather's weather. We got Bonley's money. The pick 3 with little T. We didn't talk about we didn't talk about the sports this weekend. The Indian Valley Braves, the Jeanette and Hutton Indian Valley Braves, won their final 4 games, so they're playing for the state finals.
That's awesome.
State championship in Canton, Ohio this weekend. So good luck to the Braves. The Steelers won in a shootout. It's the highest scoring game of the year in the NFL this year. They scored 72 points between them and the Bungles somehow. Neither team has a good offense, but all of a sudden they're just like blowing up.
We got
that
a
went
visitor.
down. The Buckeyes lost.
There she is. She finally woke up.
I can't see her. Everything's invisible. There she is. Like she's in and out. She's disappearing behind the
She's
microphone.
a ghost.
Did you guys see that thing I sent to you? Did you watch it or not? I sent it in the three of our chat. It was a reel, one of those reels, TikTok things, whatever you want to call them. It was these British people. She's like, Margaret, there's a ghost behind you. And it was just her daughter. She was really pale and the sun was on her. There's a ghost behind. That's my daughter. So we got the same thing going on right now. Minnie K's disappearing.
I like the other one you sent too.
Which one? What other one did I
Where
send?
the lady and the guy were in the bed sleeping and.
Oh yeah, that ghost one.
Yeah.
Ghosts are weird nowadays. Yeah, it's because of the microphone. If she comes on your side of the mic, she won't disappear. And if she's wearing, if you just get rid of your background, and then we can.
That's what I'm trying to. I just don't know how to do it.
Well, I'll probably have to cancel the share there. That way you can. No, you probably find your menu easier.
Yeah, but I don't know. It would be under.
It's under your video settings.
Hold on. I'm trying to get adjust background and effects. Hold on.
You click your.
There we go.
Yeah. Now you have to talk.
Hello.
There you go. That gets you up on the screen.
There we go. Now we're off.
Now you're not invisible anymore, Ghost Girl.
Ghost Girl.
Got it. Yeah, I figured she would come down. I heard the toilet running. I'm thinking she must be up.
Did you have to poop this morning when you got up? Is that what happened? No. Your mom heard you flush a big old fatty.
Talking to your two uncles here. Now, come on. Tell the truth.
We're gonna embarrass it. I'm never coming back. Fuck those guys.
You said that before, but she's here, obviously. So.
Yeah. What are you drinking? Beer?
Speak up, kid.
Arizona sweet tea.
Arizona sweet tea? Is that what you said?
Yeah, but she's louder than this. Why are you soft spoken? She's half asleep.
Just woke up.
There you go.
She just woke up.
Yep.
I woke up because I heard my phone buzz and I have it on silent and I know exactly why it buzzed because it died.
Oh, your phone died?
Yeah.
Okay.
She was in the bathroom so long her phone died.
So she wasn't talking to boys this morning.
Oh, uh-huh. Do they know you were texting them from the bathroom? That's gross. That's gross. You need to stop that. I would never, ever. Actually, both of those reels I sent you guys was probably from the bathroom. That's when I watch them. It's the only time I have time.
Every time I call your brother, he's always shitting.
Yeah, he
I'm
well,
like,
because he's always shitting.
What are you talking? Well, he'll call you,
Yeah.
and he'll be on the toilet. I'm like, he'll call me while you're taking a shit.
You can hear the echo. Like, are you in the bathroom? No. That's your other uncle.
Yeah.
Meathead Mike. No neck Mike.
No, no.
Now, him and Pat could get together and be Fred and Barney. I don't know what Kevin looks like, but.
Kevin is probably maybe I never seen him in person, but Pat said he might be smaller than I am, so I don't know.
So Fred and Barney is a good name for those two.
Yeah. The light is blinding you?
Oh, it's early. It's almost 9:20.
It's not.
It makes me pale.
Yeah, I know. The lighting in our studio.
Yeah.
Above. Yeah.
I took one of mine out because it was too much. I had three lights in
we
here.
can dim ours yet. Yeah.
You should.
There's a notch.
It makes the video better.
Look at her bossing me around. As soon as she gets down here. Because I didn't have time. I was half asleep this morning. No, almost done. No.
I was listening to the
Here.
show Friday, and I'm like, Pat gets on there and starts talking. I'm like, oh, this is getting good. And then he's like, I gotta go, and he left. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah,
We
they
had
a-
we had a death in the family, so
Oh, sorry to
we
hear
found
that.
out about maybe an hour and a half before we got on the air. So
Mm.
it's we're not having a good. We didn't have much of a good weekend, and it's it's bad. So
Sorry.
yeah.
he was testy, and he knew it, and that's when he said, "I need to fly. I need to go."
But it was
So.
good until he left.
It was.
It was good
still
until
it was
he
still
left.
good. But
You know what?
listen, we enjoy you and Pat yelling at each other. I don't care how much production time you put into your show or how great your show was.
You know
That
what?
is, when it's Bonzo and I, that is our
It
favorite
was a
part.
good show overall. I'm just saying that was awesome when you guys were talking.
Yes, but he was getting testy, and he knew it, and he's like, "I can't." He just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
He had to leave.
Understandable.
But
Where the
It's
hell
a
did
good
I
friend.
send that picture to?
yeah, it's a good friend of Pat's. I mean, a really good friend, and he was in our wedding, so it's a tough one for us. Yeah.
Oh, Spongy's in the welcome room. That's what's going on.
Who's
He joined
now?
the
Who's
wrong room.
Spongy?
Yeah, it's Smoke.
Oh, okay. Yeah, in the welcome. That's what I said to you.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know what
Yes,
room he was in.
That's what I was saying to you.
He joined chat through the. He's in the regular room.
Okay.
I was like, man, did I send that to the wrong room? No, he's in the wrong room. That's why. Because he went on the website to listen because he was listening through Facebook, but it was just that loop that when we tried to get it to work.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So he messaged me and said he couldn't get it to work. And well, that's why. And then I sent him the link, and then he went into, because it says, it's confusing to people when it says you can join chat, but it literally means join, not come chat with us. And we
It'd
don't
be
want
cool
to.
if you could take like phone calls on the air of different people that are listening.
Yeah, we can take calls.
Tell,
All I gotta
tell
do
them
is-
what. Go ahead.
All I got to do is click share, and then I can call you.
Hmm.
Look
Watch.
here. Tell them what you want for Christmas. Which thing that you asked for? Go
A
ahead.
dog?
Oh, I don't know why you're laughing. What did you ask for?
A mini fridge.
A what?
Yeah.
A mini what?
Mini fridge.
A mini fridge. That's
This
not.
is popular through the teenagers. This is what they want. Yeah.
I
They're
said,
cheap.
Mom, that's the only thing I want.
They're cheap.
That's the only. You heard that, right? That's the
Yeah.
only thing she wants.
You know,
so if I only
every
give her
year-
the that gift,
That's because kids are getting lazier and lazier. They want to sit in their computer or on their phone, and they don't want to leave their
No,
bedroom. They
no,
just want to get their snacks and stuff right there
Yep.
in their bedroom.
don't even have to get up, get a snack.
that's it, Karen.
Okay, not only that.
Next thing,
but
they'll want a toilet in their bedroom.
And not only that, but nobody else drinks my Pepsi.
Can I have a prison cell?
That's basically what it is.
That's your uncle's for you.
Nobody else drinks my Pepsi from Halloween because they don't drink soda.
No, we don't drink soda.
And nobody else drinks my sweet.
So
And when I put it in the fridge, Patrick complains that there's no room.
no room. But now she wants her own fridge.
That's how the party lines got started too. How kids started getting their own phone lines.
Yeah.
Because dad would complain that every time he picked the phone up, his daughter was on the phone or whatever, you know. And it's always
Right.
the girls. The girls were boys. Even back then, it's just like texting. We text like K, I, shit like that. And women text like paragraphs.
Do you type K or KK? K.
K.
See?
It was Dad. Dad types K.
Okay. It's a boy thing.
Literally,
We
I'll
don't
ask
like being
him-
on the phone.
I'll ask him a question. He don't even say yes or no. All he says is K.
Except for Pat. Pat likes to be on the phone.
Ah, yes, he does.
But he
He's a
does video
talker.
calls. It's hilarious. I'm always like, what the fuck, man? There's a video call coming through.
He
'Cause
likes
he's
to
the
talk
only-
to people.
He's the only person I get them
face-to-face.
from. I know.
I'm the same way.
I get it, but
I'm
he's
the
the
same
only
way.
one that does that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't
Gets
get.
me
I don't,
motion sickness when I'm talking to him. He's walking around, the phone spinning in circles.
Well, you know, and I don't know if you noticed this, but while he's talking to you, sometimes he's peeing off the porch.
Oh, is that what it is? I thought he goes out to smoke.
Smoke and pee, I guess. Well, yeah. Yeah,
He's
if,
a
if,
He don't give a
multitasker.
shit. He don't care.
if you guys don't know, you can go listen to our podcast. You can listen to Pat and Tisha fight on Putting on the Mix. Sooner or later, they'll have their own separate show of them just fighting.
Well,
Called Loose Lips.
it's not fighting. It's not fighting.
It's
He
hilarious.
pushes my buttons. I push his back, you know?
Yeah, but when I do it to him, he gets mad at me.
See, here we go.
Well, that's because you're not his wife.
And then when he does it to me, I get mad.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're both
Because he's not your
Scorpios,
husband.
so-
When you get your own husband, then you guys can push each other's buttons and go
And
back
that
and
won't
forth.
be for a long, long time.
At least 2-3 years. I'm just making fun of your mom. She knows I kid.
No, it ain't happening.
Especially if the first thing you do is poop when you get out of bed. It's gonna be a long time for you to find a boyfriend like that.
Now you're embarrassing her.
I know.
She's turning
my
and she's
job.
blushing.
It's my
What?
job. I must be over the target. All right, it's time to go. I think we got everything covered. Talked about the Buckeyes getting their ass kicked. Yeah.
Penn State plays this weekend. That's
For
my
the
alumni.
Big Ten title. Yep. Penn State and Oregon.
Yep.
For the Big Ten title. Go Penn State. Fuck Oregon. That's just
All
my
right.
opinion. Sorry, Heather. She lives in Washington anyway, but she might be a Ducks fan. I don't know. But I think we got everything covered. All the boxes checked. Seems like we did. All right, WBAM, thank you for tuning in. We do appreciate you. We will be back Friday morning at 8 a.m. So tune in and listen again with more shenanigans. And probably won't have Minnie K. She'll probably be off to school.
You'll be in school.
Do you go to your dad's this weekend?
Wah, wah, wah.
I have her.
You have her this weekend?
Yeah, you're bowling on Saturday.
Bowling. Yep, me too.
So
You're
you
going
guys gotta
down when
compare
you
your
come
scores.
around, or if we come around, I'm beating the shit out of her on bowling.
Come here. I'm telling you, come over. Come to Pennsylvania.
Like I said, when you come over, we are definitely going bowling. I don't care what anybody says.
Bowling it is. All right, guys. We will be back Friday morning. We will see you then. So peace and love, WBAM. Peace and love.
Peace.
Bye-byes.